Felt good. Felt good. First game back. I mean, we didn't get the result we wanted, but just coming back from a personal perspective, felt amazing. But I'm gonna keep building, keep getting better. I feel like some things I could have worked on as well too, but overall, I felt good to be out there.
Take us through what happened on the interception and the pick six, and how did it feel to take it to the house?
I mean, that was my first ever pick six, so that was a great feeling. But I was just in the right position, read my assignment, read my keys, got a run pass key, and then I was right there where the quarterback was looking at, and I was surprised, he was throwing it because I was literally right there. So he ended up throwing it, and as soon as I caught it, I already had it in my mind that I got to get in the end zone. So I was able to do that, but felt good though. First pick six ever. So
what's the closest you ever got
at
ever
Pop
played.
Warner level?
Well, I'm talking about like at the collision level, like college.
Collegiate or high?
Yeah,
so
college.
Did you have them in high school or Pop?
No, I never had one in high school, so this my first one.
Yeah.
What's the closest you ever got to having one?
Last year at Texas against Florida, but I got tackled. That was the closest, but that's about it though. Yeah.
Were you like run down tackled in that other one, or were you?
Yeah, he came from the side and tackled me.
Okay,
I should have put a move on him and then got in the end zone, but he got me though.
You weren't letting that happen this time.
Nah, not at all. Not at all. I already had it in my mind. I got to get in the end zone.
What's that feel? Since this is the first one that you've had in college or higher, what's that feeling like when you're running up the field, fans are cheering, and you cross the end zone?
I mean, that's a feeling that I want to have all the time. So there's gonna be many more for sure. To come, but that was a great feeling. To be honest, with the crowd behind me, me making a play. Obviously, the feeling of helping the team get the lead, everything itself, that felt good though.
Did you grab the ball?
Had to.
You know what you're gonna do with it?
Probably frame it up, man. It's my first ever pick six, like I said, so I'm probably put it up somewhere in the house.
Last year, you had.
What were the interactions after the coaches played, teammates?
They were all hype, man. They were all hype. I mean, we preached the ball a lot here in our position room, team meeting, the whole team in general. We preached the ball a lot, so they were just happy for me and the fact that I went out there and made a play and I was able to help the team, put 2 points on the board. So I mean, it was all exciting, man. They were just happy to see a turnover.
How would you assess your overall play? Getting out there. I mean, I'm sure that I think they completed a couple passes too and everything. What was that like for you?
They only completed one pass on me, but I could have done a better job on that play as well. But just overall, I feel like it's a lot of things from on my end I got to clean up. As far as like technique and then just eyes being in the right place. I mean, I wouldn't say I had a good game, but I had a solid game for sure. The plays I made was able to back it up, but looking deep down and looking in the mirror, looking at myself, I know for a fact, there's things out there I need to go out there and clean up for sure.
What about the fumble? What happened on that play?
On the fumble, I was coming down, on the tight end on my man, and then the D lineman, one of the D linemen, got back there so fast, the running back didn't want to take the ball, so the ball ended up on the ground, seeing the ball, so I picked the ball up, but I was trying to run with it and get back in the end zone, but somebody, obviously touched me, so I was down, but I mean, same thing, see ball, get ball, and that's been the biggest thing for me during this camp and just as a team, man. We just preach the ball a lot to where it's just like second nature to where, you just think ball while you're out there. And I feel like that's when the plays come and that's when you get opportunity to make plays.
You obviously missed some time in camp, and we haven't seen you as much with the first team as Sydney. Where do you think you stand in that competition?
That's something that I can't control, something out of my control. So I'm gonna just leave it up to the coaches. I feel like at the end of the day, it ain't my decision or anybody else's decision but the coaches. So they know. So I'm gonna just leave that up to them.
How are you feeling?
Big plays today. What kind of confidence do they give you?
Give me a lot of confidence. Especially how things been going, like you mentioned with the injury and everything. But just knowing that I can go out there and compete with some of the top guys, or the best guys in the league, and and be able to perform, how I was able to do it with a solid day. That gives me a lot of confidence, moving forward, knowing that, I can do whatever I put my mind to. I can make a play, whatever play I need to make, I can go make a play.
How are you feeling?
Whenever you were running towards the ball, you were surprised a bit that it got to your hands. Was there a pick like that before that was like that kind of play?
Yeah, I was surprised, like I mentioned earlier, like I was literally right there with the receiver he was throwing it to, so I was totally surprised. But what was your second question?
Have you had a play like that before? Remember any interceptions or plays like that?
Nah, not really. Yeah, that's by far, the most surprised I've ever been when the ball came to me, because I wouldn't expect a quarterback to throw the ball while I'm right there. So that's one play I was surprised with.
So you made plays. Jihaad had the blitz and the sack. Smael was all around the ball. What does it mean for you guys as a rookie just to come along and develop the way you have here in training camp and preseason?
It means a lot. I feel like we can. It just shows that we young guys coming in hungry, ready to prove people right. Ready to help the team in any ways we can. But with Jihaad and Smael, I'm not surprised they're out there doing those things, because I see it every day in practice, man. Those two guys, they come in every day and ready to work. Man. Every time we in the meeting or team meeting, those two guys are being called out, for doing good things. So I'm not really surprised with how they perform, what they doing out there.
Drew, how you
see it every day.
It looked like at one point you got a little sick on that next drive.
I'm feeling good. I just drank the wrong thing. I thought I was drinking water, but I drank some rice stuff. But I'm feeling good. I was all right. I got back to rice stuff. It's like a hydration thing. I thought I was getting some water, but it was a different bottle. Yeah, but I was able to get back out there. I was all right.
I feel like at this level, the biggest difference is everybody's a really good athlete, but they all know what they're doing, and they know how to try to deceive you and deceive your reads and stuff like that. So, it's the constant learning process, and sometimes, as crappy as it is, like when you make the mistake, that's sometimes the best way to learn. And so just constant improvement, trying to get a little bit better each day.
How did you feel about the execution of your first tush push?
First tush push, yeah, it was pretty cool. I think that it was good to get that early on. Feel like you're actually in the game, get hit, get tackled a little bit, get punched under the pile. So, first down. So 1 for 1 so far.
You see it so many times on TV, and as a fan, what's it like to actually be in the middle of it?
Yeah. I mean, I obviously grown up being an Eagles fan. Obviously, within the last few years, they've kind of trademarked that. So we practice it a little bit in practice, but obviously it's not full contact. So that was really my first time doing it full speed. So pretty cool.
What's it mean for you that practically every quarterback in this system can execute that play?
I think it just goes to show that anybody can run it. We just happen to practice it and execute it better than the other teams. I don't think, obviously in the offseason there's a little bit of a discussion over whether it's a fair play or not. I think it's totally fair. We just execute it at a very high rate.
Can you take me through the touchdown and if you knew you were going to get hit on that play?
Yeah, so going into the week, watching their game last week against Carolina, and then obviously with a couple joint practices with them, we knew third down in the red zone, high alert for 0, and got the look that we wanted, and at the end of the day, Anais did a really good job of winning right away off the ball. And then you're going to be 1 short in protection, so it's all about getting the ball out on time. And like I was saying earlier, I think that's how you show toughness as a quarterback.
Did you see him get in the end zone, or were you on the back?
I was on the ground, but I heard the crowd, and then I saw popped up and saw Anais celebrating the end zone. So pretty cool way to get your first one.
What kind of strides
between game 1 and game 2? Less nerves, more comfortable?
Yeah, I mean, I think game 1 you're doing everything for the first time, and now you have an expectation of what it's going to be like, and I think how to prepare throughout the week a little bit better, and then you just feel more comfortable. Like I was saying earlier, I think every single rep that I get, it's starting to slow down, which is what you want. And so stepping on the field, play 1 this week versus play 1 last week feels different.
Preseason felt in general coming off injury?
Feels pretty good, man. I'm just treating it like a game anyway. I'm saying it's my first couple of games as me being a professional football player. It's very great. Just learning and growing. That's the biggest thing, man. Just learning and growing.
When you get a chance to show a blitz like that, what's the key to timing it correctly?
Really just film, understanding, the quarterback's cadence and, when he's about to snap the ball and, what type of quarterback you're going against. Is he a mobile guy? Is he a guy that's going to sit in the pocket? And then, of course, just identifying the offensive line. And, most importantly, just executing it, all around the board, the defensive line executing their job so I can make a play.
How's that one feel?
Felt pretty good.
What's the biggest difference between how you felt between game 1 and game 2 in terms of how comfortable, starting to slow down a little bit? What's the biggest difference?
I think I just keep the main thing, right? You know, when you think about habits, you think about discipline, you think about, you know, having a routine, going into the game, the day before the game, the week of the game, right? And, you know, just understanding, you know, what's that task and what we need to do as a whole unit in the team, you know, just to execute and find a way to win.
Were you excited to see Smael out there making a bunch of plays?
Man, definitely was. I can't lie. You know, just him being in the linebacker room with me and coming in with him. He's a great player, man. Very outstanding dude, and his instincts is up there for sure.
Do you think you've learned something from him this summer?
Definitely, for sure. I think we both learn from each other. You know, we're rookies, right? So, you know, we're coming in and we're learning from, you know, our linebacker coaches, our DC, and, you know, Zach Bond and Kobe Dean, and even, you know, Jeremiah Trotter. I think the biggest thing with our room is, you know, just growing and just finding a way to, you know, execute and do what we got to do.
I just talked to Zach Bond. I asked if he was surprised about how explosive you've been. He said no, and he kind of laughed. I guess it was a silly question, which perhaps maybe it was. But what is it about you that these leaders kind of have looked to you and they're not surprised by the way that you're performing?
Yeah, I don't really like to brag about myself like that, but I think it's more so just inherently, right? Like when I was younger, and really the focal points of you know, what was that task and what I needed to do to, you know, be an overachiever and, you know, just be at the place where I wanted to go, right? You know, and that all goes to, you know, my parents and, you know, my support system, my whole team off the field, you know, just working with me and, you know, keeping my mental sharp, and of course, you know, the work that I always put in to get to this moment. And, you know, I'm still climbing the mountain just like everybody else, and I think that's the most biggest thing, and it's very blissful, you know what I'm saying? I always appreciate God and thank God any chance I get. So
another week of camp down. How do you feel with another week kind of under your belt and adjusting to both the NFL and the system here?
Yeah, I mean, just taking steps, right? Just learning and growing and just improving and really, you know, being better than you was yesterday. I think that's the biggest goal. And, you know, always just being where your feet are. Don't worry about next week. Don't worry about last week. Don't worry about today. Worry about what's going on right now and, you know, how to just execute it at 110%.
What did you think of Drew's pick six?
I knew it was coming. I didn't know when, but I knew it was coming. As soon as I seen him pick it, and I was running with him, and I was really just happy. I was in awe because I know, you know, like I said earlier, man, how hard he's worked, and you know, he's going to just keep continuing to learn and grow.
Talking about Smael, you talked about Drew. You know, what do you think about this group of rookies?
Man, you know, we got a great group. You know, the words that I'm always keep saying is just growing and learning. I think that's the biggest thing of, you know, rookies coming in. Of course, we don't know it all, right? But we have, you know, standard and instinctual things that we do know that can, you know, help that's on the field and, you know, to our best abilities. I think the biggest thing is really just to, you know, get advice from the older guys and understand what's going on, you know what I'm saying, so we can keep getting more acclimated to this NFL life.
Do you feel like there was a big improvement from your first game to this game?
I feel like it was definitely an improvement. I wouldn't necessarily say like a big improvement because there's still some things that I got to work on. But I think I made an improvement. I think I took a step in the right direction.
How did you do that?
Just by being intentional in practice, you know, listening to my coaches, trying to work on some of the mistakes I made last week, and just really trying to be intentional about it.
Do you feel more comfortable though in this game versus last game?
Oh yeah, for sure. Sure.
And what are some things you do need to improve on? Say probably everything, but one or two things.
The biggest thing I say, block destruction. Block destruction in general. You know, just because when you get to the NFL, the linemen are a lot better than in college. So just being able to get off blocks, not getting pad on pad, trying to get that separation. So that's one thing I've been really trying to work on.
You seem to get off the block pretty well on a running play right before the screen. You dragged down and you made a tackle there. It looked like you were engaged and you got off of that.
Yeah.
Just those back-to-back plays. Can you kind of talk through the execution on those two?
One of them was kind of just like a stretch or like an outside zone. So I came up, and then I think it was the tight end that had came up, and then just kind of worked the move on him, and then got off, and then made a tackle. But that was just kind of some R-Dub. I call him R-Dub, Coach Ronell. R-Dub just been preaching to me, just being able to use my tools to make plays, just using the tools.
How about the screen pass that you kind of dragged down? I mean, that looked like it was going to go somewhere, and you were able to sniff it out and then make the tackle.
That was more so just playing ball, really. It wasn't too much thought into it, just playing ball, go make a play.
Is that just instincts taking over?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
It was you, Jihaad, Drew today, like all the rookies seem to make plays. You guys take pride as a class in doing that together?
Yeah, for sure. Just all of us coming in together, learning everything. We're all going through the same, struggles together. So just to see any one of them make a play, I feel like we all made a play because, I know where they came from, and then we all started in the same place. So it just feels good to see them out there making plays.
Were you on the field when Mukuba took that pick six back?
Oh, no, I wasn't. Yeah.
So what'd you think? I mean, did you greet him at the sideline?
Yeah, I ran on and celebrated with him whenever he was coming back down our sideline, yeah. But I couldn't see who it was at first, though. I was trying to look, and then whenever I seen it, I was just like, dang. Yeah. But it was real good to see, though, for sure.
Yeah. It looked like he kept the ball. He brought it to the sideline.
Yeah, he got to, yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. But I'm real happy for him, though, for sure.
Yeah.
Jihad and the blitz he had,
yeah,
is that just something you see from his ability that he can blitz and be effective with it?
Yeah, for sure. Jihad a really good athlete. So really good athlete with long arms. So him being able to go in there and just use his different tools to make plays, that's something we see in practice. So I'm definitely happy, he got to, because we see it in practice, but to go out there and show everybody, I'm happy he got to go out there and do that for sure.
Did you like the blitz? Are you trying to talk to Vic?
I'm cool with whatever, man. I'm not really tripping on nothing. I'm cool with whatever. Whether it's blitzing, covering, I'm cool with whatever.
Yeah, have you blitzed yet? You haven't had any blitz opportunities,
not today.
You did against the Bengals. You played a lot of snaps against Cincinnati.
Yeah. I blitzed a couple times last week, but not necessarily today though.